G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, what a week. It's been a week all around at our place. We had one of the busiest weeks we've had in ages, and pardon me, there's a bit of a low formed off the tip of Fraser Island. So if you have a look at Australia, for those overseas, where the point comes up to Queensland, come down and you'll see Hervey Bay and the tip of Fraser Island, which is now called Kangaroo, which is the original Aboriginal name. I don't know why we've got to change all their names back and forth. But anyway, out of my hands, I'll just go with the flow. And that low produced a heap of rain. Now, it started raining, look, must have been early Saturday morning sometime, and it rained pretty well all day Saturday. It just pissed down Saturday morning, and really heavy cyclonic type rain. And we ended up with, look, probably until around, pardon me, probably until around lunchtime Sunday, we had 261 millimetres of rain. So that's 10.5 inches in there somewhere of rain in a bit over 24 hours. And it just poured. And where the dams are, and the driveway goes across the dams, that was one whole lake. And I was just driving up the back today, and you can see where the some of the sticks and that are still on the driveway where it was flowing over. So yeah, it's been a while, bit of a wild time in the weather department. The weather today, or the temperatures today, are 17 to 30, and it's humid. With all that moisture in the ground, and we have a nice sunny day today, yeah, it's going to be steamy. This morning at 5 o'clock when I jumped out of bed, you couldn't see the dams for a thick fog, but that's lifted now. There's still a haze across the paddock, but yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's going to be gone shortly, but yeah, the grass is really going to grow now. I'm going to probably get a sore ass from sitting on the mower. Anyway, but yeah, what a week we've had, Jude and myself. Jude and Adele went out and grabbed a cup of coffee and something to eat in town, and Adele, our daughter's a vegetarian, so she had a feta and spinach sausage roll, and Jude had a chicken pie. And anyway, a couple of days, or a day later, Jude's got a bit of a bellyache, and she started getting diarrhoea. And yeah, it was regular. Yeah, it was pat, don't wipe. And yeah, look, for 2 or 3 days, and she'd go okay. Then as soon as she had something to eat, woof, straight through her. So she off to the doctor, and turns out that the pie she had some, probably wasn't cooked properly, and she got a bacteria in her stomach, and yeah, that's what was causing the trouble. So she went to the doctor and got some stuff for that, and pardon me, and got something for that. Then yeah, she was coming good. Well, she's fine now, and she came good. But the first 2 or 3 days in the week, she had a time of it, and yeah, she just very uncomfortable time. And yeah, like we'd sit down and we'd have something to eat for dinner, then she'd spend the next couple of hours back and forth to the toilet. Then breakfast, the same thing. You have something to eat, and next couple of hours back and forth to the toilet. So yeah, just poor bugger. It was pretty wearing for her. And you may notice I sound a bit dicky. Well, welcome to COVID Central. Look, we had a busy week, and normally I meet a few people through my week, but I try and stay to myself reasonably well. But last week, yeah, Tuesday, we put the business on the market. We had Hayden Walker come in. Hayden Walker's the weather bloke, yeah, from Hayden Walker. His dad was Lennox Walker. He lives in Bundy here, and yeah, Hayden's works for a real estate agent in town as well as his weather business. And so yeah, Hayden come and we valued the business, and the business is for sale. It's out there. It's just us Realty Bundaberg or something. It should be listed shortly. And pardon me. And so we had Hayden come in and we did that. And then Wednesday we've changed accountants now. We've got a local fella. The accountants say the big boys in the big cities buy everyone out, then you get no service out of them. Everything has to go to Brisbane. So we have a good reports from Dave Andrioli in town here. So we thought we'd swing our business across to Dave. So we went there and met him and did that. Then Brett, the CRC rep on Wednesday, he came and said g'day. And Thursday I had the LSA rep, Steve, in the office, and he come and said g'day and had a yarn. And Thursday Hayden was back again, and yeah, I just had people. Oh, and I went to Bunnings to pick up some timber because I'm doing a little job for Jude on the CNC router and that up the end there. And I might film a bit of that today if I get to it. Yeah, I went to Bunnings to get some timber. Well, I ran into a bloke I hadn't seen in years, and he's shaking hands and, oh, come and sit and have a couple of hands and, you know, all that. So we did that. And but anyway, on Friday afternoon, evening, as I took a breath in, I thought, God, that feels bloody, you know, a bit raw in my lungs, in my windpipe sort of thing. Pardon me. Pardon me, I got the coughs a bit. And anyway, I thought, oh, well, you know, we had the kids over for tea Friday night, but I sort of stayed to myself a little bit. I thought, well, and I said, no, look, I feel like I'm getting something. And anyway, Saturday I went into the shed, because it was just pissing down rain, I couldn't film anything up here and it would have just been noisy here, so I stayed in my little hutchie and my machine shop. And for those of you who watch the channel, you'll know that I've been working on an international famous 3 horsepower engine for the club. And they have a housing top and bottom of the water pump. Well, I was going to make this new, but I had a fiddle with it. And look, that's going to do the job nicely. That won't look half bad. But the other one I wrecked, so I had to make a new one. So that's what I made Saturday morning out of a blob of brass. So yeah, it's got a hex on it so we can put a spanner. I'm yet to put a thread in here which is be half BSP for a piece of pipe like this. I imagine this one will be NPT, but we'll use BSP because that's what we have in Australia. So yeah, it's got these little legs. A valve comes up and touches against that, and it lets the valve come and hit that, yeah, and let the water out, but it doesn't let it come up far enough to block it off. So yeah, look, that's a nice bit of machining. The thread fits nicely. Yeah, the whole thing, I'm pretty proud of that. That's something for the club. So that's a good thing. So yeah, today I'll just see how I go today. But so I made that. Then Saturday about lunchtime, I thought, God, I feel like shit. Must be getting the flu or something. So I went and had a lay down and I hopped up feeling worse. And I thought, oh, I better have a COVID test. So I had a COVID test and, well, lucky Lance, hey, all the lines lit up for me. And so I got COVID. So I've got to isolate now until Thursday. And that's the 5 days. And then once I get a clear test, I'm right to rock and roll again. But Saturday night, holy, what a long night that was. I had the fevers and the shakes, and about every 3/4 of an hour I'd hop up for a leak, and yeah, and I'd be shivering like buggery, and I'd go back to bed, so I wrapped myself up in bed. I mean, wrap myself up, put extra blankets on the bed to try and cook it out, and extra sheets and things, and yeah, put t-shirts and singlets on to try and cook it out a bit, and yeah, Sunday morning it was certainly better than it was Saturday evening. Jude moved out of the bedroom. That's it. It's gone. She's in the guest room at the house, so so she doesn't get it. So she's camping up the other end of the house. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I haven't had COVID yet, so well, I hadn't had it, but I've got it now. But it's Monday morning, time to film the stew, and look, I'm feeling a bit shit, but not bad. Not bad enough to stay home sooking. So anyway, I'm up the shed here and I'll do a bit. I'm not going to do anything that uses much brain power. I'm a bit foggy in the head, but nothing new, most people reckon. But anyway, pardon me. So anyway, I've got to have a turn at this COVID by the looks of things, but if Saturday night was the worst of it, that wasn't pleasant. But look, today I'm sitting here, I'm sweating away, just bloody sweat pissing off me. But anyway, I got me bloody safety thongs on and me footy shorts and a shirt, and I'm just going to bum around up the shed here until I feel like going home. And yeah, we'll play that by ear. I got a far more carby done through the week before I took ill. So that's a far more H carby. I've got to get that in and send it back to its owner. That's a nice thing. Oh, the CRC rep, Brett, he bought me this new product. It's a vapor rust spray on gel. So we'll do a bit of a play with that, and yeah, it clings to surfaces, powerful, non-scrubbing. So apparently, where the other vapor rust, you put in a tub and soak something in it. This one you can just spray on for something that, you know, it's too big to get in there or something like that. So we yet to try that. So we'll give that a bit of a go. I told you last week that I bought some parts off old fella Ivor Miller, and pardon me, I've got to stop talking, I think, off Ivor, and they turned up, and look, you're just a gentleman to deal with, you know, like if every transaction was like that, the world would be a good place. And I'm a bit excited about some of the stuff he sent. This here is the genuine thing for setting up the planetaries and the bearing heights and all that on your final drives. We've got the bracket to hook onto the back of your lift cover and use your hinged pin and swing him over. Now this isn't a genuine item, it's homemade, but it's obviously Ivor earned his living with these tools, so that's a good thing. Holy shit, it's all happening. And we have the proper Massey Ferguson tools for setting the hydraulics up. So all the little knickknacks for doing that, which is particularly what I was looking for. I'll try that item there. That's, oh, what's this one? Massey Ferguson MF356C. So that sits down on your lift cover and your levers come up against this pin, and there's a weight that goes on there, and it's a 3 pound weight. Well, Ivor's got a solid chunk of brass, it must have been the weight. So that hooks over the levers. So we have that. The bracket that sits up the back, so that sits in the back of the rock shaft, and the weight comes down, and this is just a pivot really, the weight comes down over there. So that's good to have. Yeah, this is something interesting. Clutch setting gauge. S, it's a Sparex part number. Pardon me. And the part number is S41536. Now, that number's no longer any good in the system, so Sparex have obviously stopped making that. 100 series up to 1968 clutch setting tool, so that's a good thing. There's another piece that's homemade for setting a rock shaft. It may be the later ones where the bell crank that holds the donkey dick, it sits back against there. He gave me an absolute heap of spare parts, like you know, dash pot, you know, the pot for the pressure compensating, the pressure for the Mark III pump, you know, your main control valve and that for the Mark III pump. the O-rings and O-ring kits and things like that. There is just a stack of them. All sorts of parts and nuts and bolts and things like that that I've always had in his lifetime of work. You know, the lever that goes onto the hydraulic pump with the roller on it, new ones of those. So there's quite a bit of gear here. We've got dowels that are made up for sliding the rock shaft down onto, or this would also be good for doing the gearbox split. Now there's a couple of parts in here I was really excited to see. Oh, that's just a spring. And oh, this is the spanner for adjusting the nut at the back, where your you know, where your draft rod goes in and the rubber goes on. So a genuine one of those. And this here, now I don't know if you know what that is or not, but it's a seal installation toolkit for the Danfoss steering motors. So this is brand new, never been used. So this slides down into your Danfoss steering motor, and then this slides down in with the seal on the end, and this is the tool for the little return springs. I've been looking for one of them, and I was thinking of making one, but yeah, look, we have the genuine article, so I'm really pleased about that. Now, another thing, I've never seen these ever, yet they must have been a thing, obviously. And so once I saw them and worked out what they were, I had a look in the workshop manuals, and it said when you're doing the hydraulic pumps up, the valve chambers at the end, it says, oh, have a look, measure the bore and recut the seats, and yeah, put the new valves in. And I sort of always thought, oh, how do you recut the seats? Well, here's the tools. So that's a little seat cutter. Now, that's there with the marks on these fellas. So as those of you that have had the pumps apart, you know there's a big valve and a little valve. So this would be to remove a bit of metal quickly, you know, with the gouging sort of surface on it. Then this one here, this looks like it might be to bring the top down. So, you know, bring it so it's a narrower seat. So so the seat doesn't get bigger and bigger, you can bring it down. So look, I've never used that. I'm going to find an old pump housing and have a play. And I may even cut it open once I've done it, just to have a look what happens. But I've never seen those tools before, so I was excited to have that. I was sent me this spanner. Look at the wonky bloody thing in that. Now, I don't know what that's for, but he's put a lot of time into making that. So I'm not 100% sure what it's for. He's got a lot of lifting eyes and things like that he's made, and that have helped him earn his living over the time when he was a field service fitter. So, you know, a single bolt handle with a little brass pipe on it. So, yeah, so look, I was really happy with what Ivor sent. But he says, oh, I had a couple of flags, Lance, and I popped them in for you. I hope you're interested in them. And I said, oh, that'd be lovely. And that's why the camera's back a little bit. I did a test run before. So this is what Ivor had tucked away. Now look at that. The Massey Ferguson flag. It's quite a big one. Then which way are we going here? This way probably, is it? I can't even see that. So I'm not 100% sure what that's about. Oh, Landini. Look at that, I can see it in the thing. That's a Landini flag. There you go. I hadn't opened this one up to have a look really. And then there is a Massey Ferguson industrial flag. So I'm going to find a place for them, and I'm thinking up the back near the John Deere sign up there. We'll find a bit of real estate up there, and we'll put them on permanent display. And so, look, that was great. He's just an old gentleman, Ivor. I think the floods might have been coming up and giving him a bit of drama, but I see on Facebook the other day he showed his shed and it didn't look flooded or anything, so it may be okay. So, we'll just see how it all goes. Hopefully it went well for him. But look, that's about it for the week. What a week. Yeah, with Jude being crook early in the week, me catching the Chinese flu, and I think, actually I'm not allowed to say that, I think it's supposed to just be COVID now. Who knows? And yeah, I got some new toys and got a job done. I've got another carby to do. I got some injectors done for a fella last week, so that's all done. I got my little mate Ronnie's carby to do yet. I didn't get to it last week. And yeah, I got a couple of jobs. Oh, those crosses that I do for the Gladstone Seafarers Centre, they've run out. Oh, they're getting low, and they're planning on doing a couple of Christmas care packages for the sailors that aren't home. So we're going to do another run of those crosses for them, and I've got the CNC router set up in a good place now. So I may film a bit of that later. I'll just see how I go. I'll probably have to go home and have a bit of a kip half time today, but look, we'll just see how it goes, see what happens. But I'm not overly energetic. Nothing new there probably, but anyway, with the humidity around at the moment, I think I'm going to have to service the mower and sharpen the blades and get stuck into it. So look, we'll just see how we go. I don't know what I'll get up to this week. I'm hoping that I come a bit good. And if I've got to stay home, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday as well, I'm hoping I feel like coming up here having a fiddle. But if I don't, I don't. I'll just look after myself and go from there. So see what happens. But yeah, it's just been one of those weeks for the books. Busy, meeting people, you know, meetings, business meetings, and all the other stuff that goes on with businesses and all that. And yeah, some kind soul shared the COVID with me. So anyway, it's not too bad. Some people seem, I've had 3 COVID shots, so it's not as bad as it could be, I imagine. But I've probably had flus, you know, flus that are bloody just as bad, I think. But anyway, it's not knocking me around too much. It did the other night, but I'm hopefully coming out the other side now. So okay, look, well, let's leave it at that. I was humming and hawing whether I did a stew or not, but I had a bit of show and tell I wanted to skite about. So I did a stew, but we'll just see how we go. So have a good week, everyone. Stay safe, and yeah, look, we'll catch you next week, eh?